of River State could very well be excited by the visit as well. But if you could help me understand, or just, explain it to me, break it down for me, how this would excite the good people of River State and those market women as well, and market men who had to shut down their shops today because of the president-elect's visit to the state, how it excites them. Please explain it to me. But congratulations to everyone once again, and I hope that he has a smooth and enjoyable visit to River State, and he has some, make some good memories there before he leaves. And I hope that sometime in the future, the things that are said today will not be played back when the parties involved are singing a different tune. If you didn't get that, if you did not get that, hopefully before the end of this century, it might come to you. Just give it some time. Give it some time. One day, you could just be taking a walk and you sit down and it just, whoa, it could be 10 years from now. And it just comes to you what Dyer was saying that day, about 10 years ago. Anyways, welcome again. It is Hard Fact to Nigeria Info. I'm Dyer. From now till 7 o'clock, discussions are on, and you're very much welcome to join in. Number of issues we're discussing on the show today. Do once again be a part of it. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. That we are. We're also on Twitter and YouTube, Nigeria Info PH. Let's get your take. At the appropriate time to call either of the following numbers: 0817 923 0002. 0817-923-0003 or 0007 as well. To the question I asked earlier on, how this should excite the good people of River State, someone's helped me out here. I presume one of the good people of River State has responded saying, to make us align with power at the center. That's some Christian. Okay, all right. So I guess that's a good thing, I suppose. I guess. I'm not exactly sure how, but maybe it's a good thing. I can also get how that's a good thing for the River State governor, aligning with the center. Maybe I can also understand how that's good for people in government in River State, aligning with the center. I can also maybe comprehend how it's good for the well-meaning people of River State, not to be confused with the good people of River State. I possibly can comprehend that, but I'm not sure how that works out for the good people of River State. So, Christian, you might have to still break it even further, because really, I'm not as sharp as you might think I am. I might not be able to grasp things as quickly as you might think. All right, some other persons are helping me here. Someone says the public holiday will excite the good people of River State by helping them to relax for today. At least too much stress is not too good. Okay, all right. I can comprehend this. Dyer, we are happy because the street lights in Port Harcourt can now work because Tinubu is in Port Harcourt. Okay, are you sure of that? Are they working, by the way? Did they work last night? Or maybe you'd have to wait till tonight to find out if they're working or not. And why should they work, by the way? Is the president-elect is it going out clubbing tonight? Why? Or I don't know, is he hanging out with the guys tonight? Why would the street lights need to work tonight? Michael Ibugbai goes down. The artisans like vulcanizers who cook soup from their daily hustle but asked to stay off the road today are the ones happy to have Tinubu in town because the governor will have dinner with them today. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't get that message. And that's interesting if that really is going to happen. Now the holiday is to deepen democracy. Oh. No, I don't understand that one. Anyways, thank you for your efforts to try to make me understand it. So, as I was saying, what was I saying? So, a number of issues lined up for today's discussions, by the way. Congratulations to everyone once again on the president-elect's visit to River State. But now here is something I think that the good people of River State can relate with. The opening of the flyover, or, well, what we prefer to refer to as the commissioning of the Rumukuta flyover. Now that's a welcome development, no doubt. That will help a lot. That will ease some traffic, I suppose. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing, as a matter of fact. Oh, someone responded to the question on the streetlights. Yes, Dyer, the streetlights worked from last night After 600 years of not working, no, come on, they were not up to 600 years. Oh, so they did work last night. Oh, okay, all right, that's good. That's good. Good evening, Di. The visit excites me because the president-elect told the governor that he owes him nothing because the bridges belong to the good people of Rivers State. How does that excite you? Okay, so anyway, that's that. I will come to some of that in a moment as well. Quick preview of what to expect on the show today. Let's see. I do have side comments coming up shortly. Random stories that caught my attention earlier as I checked out the news today. They will not be discussed now, but much later on after the news at 6 p.m. I'll take your thoughts on those. I've got a rant coming up as well. Something in my mind. I've expressed some thoughts on it. I'd like to get your take on that to 4 p.m. 4 o'clock, we got business news coming up. Today is Wednesday. In case you did not notice, it is, as is customary, every Wednesday between 4 and 5 p.m. we discuss the progressive development of the Niger Delta region. Specifically, we do that. We do it at other times as well, but specifically every Wednesday, 4 to 5 p.m. on the program Canvas the Niger Delta Roundtable, brought to you by SPDC. And today on the show, we're discussing Invest in Our Planet, Environmental Impact Assessment as Tool for Climate Change. My guest on the show today, Professor Ijoma Vincent Akpun, President of the Association for Environmental Impact Assessment of Nigeria, Professor for Ecotoxicology and Hydrobiology. That's a lot, really. Well, she'll join me in the 4 o'clock hour on Canvas the Net today. Take it on to 5. We got the news update at 5 o'clock. And after that, let's see what's next. Oh, yes, here we go. Here's what's next. Tinubu's victory. Legal battle begins Monday as tribunal hears petitions. The Presidential Election Petitions Court has fixed Monday for the hearing of the petitions challenging the declaration of the APC standard bearer, Bola Tinubu, as the president-elect. With this development, the expected legal battle by candidates disputing the outcome of the 2023 presidential poll will commence from May 8. Yeah. So, we'll talk about this. There are those who have said that the opposition party should not bother themselves. They're trying to heat up the polity. They're simply disgruntled elements for the sake of peace and the progress of the country. They should withdraw their petitions, So should that be the case? I mean, I'll be asking you, what's best for the country in your estimation? What is best for the country? That the elections result as it is should be allowed to remain and we simply move forward? Or that these petitions are still, the petitioners still go ahead with the petitions, the matters are ahead at the tribunal, and that means there is a possibility, not a certainty, but a possibility that it could result, or it could lead to the result of the election being cancelled or an overturning of the elections. So, what is best for the country at this time? I'd like to get your take on that as well. That comes up in the 5 o'clock hour after the update. We got headlines at 5:30 p.m. The major news comes up top of the hour at 6. And a review of all the matters discussed on the show today is up after that during the open season segment. I'll take your thoughts on all the matters, including my side comments at that time till about 7 o'clock when we wrap up the conversation. The sports gang are in by 7 for extra time. So that's a preview of today's show. An interesting comment via WhatsApp. Dio, are you gonna rant today? Remember, it's a public holiday and also Tinubu's Day in Rivers State, Asamhana. And I didn't quite think of it that way. Maybe if I thought of it, I wouldn't do a rant today. But I didn't. I already prepared a rant for today, so I guess I'll have to. I hope that answers the question. A quick commercial break. I'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
On your number one talk station. You get
the discussions continue with some side comment, random stories I came across earlier today as I perused the news and a few thoughts on them, but they're not to be discussed now. Much later on, very likely, during the open season segment after the 6 p.m. major news. I'll take your thoughts on those. Well, let's start with this one. Now, President-elect Bola Tinubu, of course, is in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and he's hailed Governor Wike for promoting unity, fairness, and championing justice. He also expressed how he's a happy man for winning the 2023 presidential election. The President-elect also acknowledged the public holiday declared by the Rivers State Governor in his honor. Let's take a listen to what the President-elect had to say on this. Just a moment. Do I have this? Okay, I'm not sure I have that. Pardon me. Don't think I have that right now. Earlier, Governor Wike said the state government will request for the refund of money spent building flyovers and federal roads at the start of the administration of the Rivers State governorship-elect Siminalayi Fubara. I should have this one.
If we have said because they are federal government roads and we don't do it, who are those to suffer? Those are the last people. So since we have said, look, we don't want our people to suffer. I also believe federal government should say, look, you've done well for us. These are projects we should be doing. Can you bring your deal? Let us refund you the money you have done this year. That is what it's supposed to be. Partnership with a good federal government. I can assure you, as you enter office and you approve to pay this money back, other states will have the courage to also do the same. My successor, the day as his entering office in May 29, the letter has been prepared for him. He will sign that day and forward to you.
Okay, all right. Interesting request, really. But the president-elect replied saying he owes the state nothing because the road was done for Rivers people.
The 12th flyover and the demand you made for refund, I owe you nothing. It's your road. You can chuckle me and make a demand. You are the one living on this road. I commend your effort. You have to lobby me to collect as you make people happy, create excitement and development across this state. We have something to look forward to. Nigeria.
Not exactly sure what to make of this, really. Well, is it a sign? Is it a sign of sorts? Well, time will tell. But one thing is certain: this request made by the River State Governor and the response of the President-elect, it's a moment that has been what's the word I'm looking for right now? It has been it's been kept. Yeah. So and again, there's something you do to that mail. I can't find the word right now. If you could help me out, please, via WhatsApp on 0809-030-6416. When you receive an email and you want to keep it somewhere so you can easily access it in the future, there's something you do to it. Thank you. Archive. That's the word I was looking for. You archive it. Wonderful, brilliant, good people of Rivers State. So, yeah, I'm sure that this moment, something tells me this moment has been archived. And it might come up again. It might come up again sometime in the future, but time will tell. It was an interesting exchange, nonetheless. An interesting exchange. But I do wish the people of Rivers State the very best, and Nigeria and Nigerians the best as well. Now, Order Side Command, Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the raid and arrest of some suspects in Elechi Beach waterfront and other waterfronts in Mile 1 Debu axis of Port Harcourt on Monday. The raid comes days after the warring cult groups in Debu reportedly agreed to a peace deal, an occult war that has claimed several lives. Quite frankly, I don't understand that. How criminals are reaching a peace deal, and it's... Anyways. Spokesperson of the Rivers State Police Command, Grace Iringekoko, told our correspondent the operation followed intelligence reports and the activities of criminals and cultists in the area. Well, Iringekoko said those arrested are currently being investigated and anyone found culpable will be arraigned in court at the end of investigation. It's about time. It's definitely about time. I don't know how many persons we expected these guys to kill before we eventually start getting intelligence report and then we act on it. And it's interesting, the intelligence report didn't come earlier. Several persons have died, businesses shut down, economic livelihoods of people lost that can never be recovered, but we didn't get intelligence reports. Well, you know what they say, better late than never. The police finally got intelligence. Reportedly, persons have been arrested. Hopefully, they're able to get some indictments and prosecute persons, even though we hardly ever hear of this anyways. But I hope it's not a matter of time before there's another resurgence of these cult wars and more people die again, and then we wait for a while for the police to start getting intelligence again. All right, so I hope they'll keep on getting intelligence on this matter so that they can forestall a reoccurrence of the horrible incidents that led to several deaths, or a number of deaths in that part of town. Let's see. What else caught my attention on the news today? Was there anything else in particular? Also, still with the River State Governor, he said his administration will not hesitate to dethrone any traditional ruler who allows crime and cultism in his domain. Governor Wike said this while presenting staff of office and certificates to some traditional rulers at the government house in Port Harcourt. And just a moment while I play back some of the governor's comments as regards that. Do I? Okay, I do have that one. There we go.
It's essential to reiterate that this situation also demands profound responsibility on you as natural rulers of the kingdoms and custodians of the cultures and traditions of their people. The first responsibility is the maintenance of peace and security. I advise therefore that you work with the local government chairman and the security agencies to maintain peace and security in their communities. Let me warn that the government will not hesitate to dethrone any traditional ruler that allows, tolerates, or enables cults and criminal activities to take roots in his domain.
Of course, a traditional ruler who enables crime, enables being the operative term there, has no business occupying that stool or that position. As a matter of fact, the person should be indicted, prosecuted, and possibly even sent to jail. But short of enabling the crime or being an active participant in the criminal act itself, I'm not sure there's anything that very much traditional rulers can do to prevent crimes in their communities. I mean, if the police can't prevent it, if the River State Governor himself can't prevent crime, not sure traditional rulers can, but they should not enable it or be a part of it. The governor also charged traditional rulers to protect government health facilities in their area and ensure that no child is out of school.
You must be concerned about the progress of your community. These are your communities just as the inhabitants are your people. Their progress is your constant concern. You are responsible for working with your people, the local government councils and the state government, to attract this problem and improve their people's living conditions. You should ensure no child is out of school in your community, as education is vital to our children's progress. Work with government health officers to ensure your community's health centers are functional.
Sometimes I feel some empathy for traditional rulers. Sometimes, only sometimes. I think that we place too much on them, the River State government especially. I mean, what exactly are, or how exactly are traditional rulers going to ensure that no child is out of school? We have schools across River State that don't have furniture. What should the traditional rulers do about that? We have schools in River State that have no ceilings, defective roofs, no windows. They have no toilets, no bathrooms, no water, zero sanitation. We have schools in River State that have no teachers. And it's a school, by the way, no teachers. Even in schools where they have teachers, they don't have teaching aids or teaching materials. They don't have any of those things. So what exactly are the traditional rulers going to do in these instances to ensure that there is no out-of-school child in their community? I think that this is largely the responsibility of the River State government, and at best, the responsibility of the traditional rulers is collaborative. To help push to help push the policy and agenda of government to educate its citizens. But if the infrastructure is not there, if the manpower is not there at all, as is very much the case in River State in a lot of instances, I'm not sure that there's anything the traditional ruler can do in such cases. And by the way, I think it's been a week, maybe two. I'm not sure exactly of the date since schools have resumed. We heard that reports have it that teaching aids and materials have not been delivered to the schools yet. Well, maybe the contractors are still bringing them. They're still bringing the lorry loads, and the contractors are still bringing them. And of course, when the contractors bring them, we'll have to commission them. We'll have to commission the teaching materials. And we have to organize a special event as well, where we invite people and we invite the media as well to cover the disbursement. Commissioning is one thing, then there has to be disbursement of the teaching aids and teaching materials. We have to disburse them. So we have to set dates, and all these things require planning. These things require proper planning. We can't just be giving out teaching materials like that. Can't just give things out like that for children to start learning. You don't do things like that's not how government works. People just think government is anyhow. Government is not anyhow. How can you expect that schools resume and immediately they will just have teaching materials and teaching aid like that? It doesn't work like that. That is not how government functions. These things have to be properly planned. You have to procure. There's procurement. You have to get contractor. Contractor has to provide logistics. Has to transport the materials. We have to assemble the materials. We have to commission the materials. We have to organize an event to disburse the materials. All these things are not normal things. These things happen. That's how government works. So we have to create the time for all of these things. All right, I think I'll have to wrap up the side comment on this note. By the way, or maybe they haven't commissioned the teachers. Well, I don't know, possibly as well. Groundbreaking ceremony for the distribution of learning materials. Government procedure, exactly. These things are very, very critical. Well, we can't overlook these things because that's how government works. Anyways, that's it for today's side comments. I hope I didn't miss out on anything. Go for a break now. When I return, today's round comes up. Do please stay with us. Marker to number one talk station. I'm Dial. We got 19 to go before 4 p.m. I'd like to run for just a bit. Something in my mind. I'll express some thought on it. I'd like to get your take on mine till 4 p.m. I think I've said this severally on the show. One of the most mind-bogglingly, pardon the term, one of the most mind-bogglingly amazing things in Nigeria is how that everybody else knows a thing. Almost, sometimes, literally everybody else. But the people whose job it is to know it. I mean, everybody else knows something, but the one person or those persons who earn a salary just to know that thing, somehow, in some miraculous way, for some bizarre reasons, they don't know. And it's interesting, really. You see it happen every time. With government agencies, departments, ministries, government officials, they just somehow they don't know what the rest of the world knows. Or maybe they do know, but it's just I don't know. It's a denial syndrome of sorts. Maybe they think that if they deny its existence, the problem or the issue will just disappear. See no evil, speak no evil, or however way that expression actually goes. I usually forget how it goes. Maybe if they deny its existence or they pretend it does not exist, then the problem will disappear. Kind of like a child pretending that there are no monsters, or when you're telling the child that to pretend there are no monsters on the bed and the monsters will disappear. Well, while that may happen for the child because the monsters were not there in the first place, in real life scenarios, such as the one I'm about to delve into, denying its existence doesn't make the problem go away, like monsters under the bed. Here's a story from The Punch. Few corrupt officials undermining passport issuance, according to Aregbesola. Here's the story. Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola says few corrupt individuals are undermining the efforts of the Nigeria Immigration Service at sanitizing the process and integrity to passport application. He made this known in Oyo Town while inaugurating the NIS passport office on Tuesday evening. Quote, he said, one of the challenges facing NIS as regards passport application are the few corrupt officials of the service who are undermining the efforts at sanitizing process and bringing integrity to passport application. These unscrupulous people are making the situation difficult by the day. If people did not tolerate them, they would not exist again. Let's leave it there for a bit. The interesting part of the governor's pardon, well, he was a former governor. The interesting part of the minister's, the Minister of Interior's comment is when he says that these officials at the passport office who are sabotaging the process of applying for and securing the Nigerian passport are quote-unquote few corrupt officials. Few corrupt officials. That never ceases to blow my mind. And by the way, I'd like to state emphatically, before I proceed, that I'm sure that there are brilliant, hardworking, decent people of integrity working in immigration, in customs, and passport offices across the country. I'm sure that there are such people. But I'm quite disturbed when the minister, for example, would say that those who are sabotaging the process, those who are corrupting the system, are, quote-unquote, officials. Is there any passport office that anyone goes to in Nigeria where you don't meet these few corrupt officials? I mean, if they're at just about every passport office, how can they be, quote-unquote, few corrupt officials? And if indeed they are few corrupt officials, what is being done by the relevant agencies of government, by the passport office heads, by the Ministry of Interior to ensure that the system runs smoothly? What processes have been put in place? How many of these few corrupt officials have been apprehended by the authorities, have been indicted, prosecuted, and sent to jail for their criminal or corrupt activities? How many of them? And saying that, those who are corrupting the passport application process are a few corrupt officials sounds like what they say in the police as well. That the officers and the police who are tarnishing the image of the police are just a quote-unquote a few bad eggs. A few bad eggs? Well, no offense to you guys, to the police. I mean, you guys just make it easy to use you as an example. It's not my fault. You provide the material. You make it very easy. You're like the go-to. You're like the poster boy of everything wrong with the country. No offense to you once again, but you make it very easy. So, as I was saying, it's like saying that the officers who are corrupt in the Nigeria police force are just a few bad eggs. When, for example, we have an MBS report as far back as, was it 2019 or 2017? Police officers, judges, most corrupt in Nigeria. Police officers, judges, and prosecutors are the most corrupt public officials in Nigeria. It wasn't Hezbollah, it wasn't the opposition that came up with this data. It was the National Bureau of Statistics that released this report. So of all the public officials in the country, if the police is the most corrupt, and then somebody says that, oh, we just have a few bad eggs. A few bad eggs? That's not possible. That sounds like the entire poultry is in a rot. It needs to be pulled down and rebuilt. And by the way, back to the Minister of Interior saying that, those in the passport offices who are destroying the process are just a quote-unquote few corrupt officials. It raises many questions. Along the government, you see the trend playing out. When once again, it appears that people in government, people in authority, either don't know what everybody else knows, or even when they do know, pretend to not know, hoping maybe that by pretending to not know, that the problem will simply disappear. Now, under the Ministry of Interior as well as the correctional centers, the correctional facilities, or the prisons, for example. Now, some years ago, some investigative journalists worked with the cable, worked with other outfits as well. Fisaya Shoyembo did a comprehensive investigative report on the situation of prisons in Nigeria, and the report was extremely damning. It was published by the cable, for which Fisaya Shoyembo, I remember, did receive international accolades, even awards as well. And as a result of this, his life was even said to be in danger, as some story from Premium Time stated, when Nigerians urged protection of journalists over undercover work. And that was referring to Fisaya Shoyembo and the job he did with corruption and malfeasance and criminality in the prison systems in Nigeria. It was a comprehensive report, for once again, a report for which Fisaya Shoyembo received international awards. The Minister of Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, at that time, at some point bowed to public pressure and congratulated Fisaya Shoyembo for the great work that he did as far as that report is concerned. But the question is, what did the ministry do after that? What efforts did it make to take what the things that Fisaya Shoyembo unearthed, revealed in his investigative report? What did the ministry do? What did the minister, Ralph Aregbesola, do to address that matter and ensure that the prison system in Nigeria works the way that it ought to, beyond the mere congratulatory message to Fisaya Shoyembo on the great work he did and how Nigerians should emulate him? Nothing. It almost seems like the system is rigged to not work in favor of Nigerians. When you say that the people in the passport office who are corrupting the system are just a few corrupt officials, when somebody else says that in the police we just have a few bad eggs, when a reporter has done a detailed report on corruption in the prison system and nothing tangible is done to reform the prisons besides maybe changing the name or changing the title, or even bring the perpetrators of the criminal act to book, because in the report done by Fisaya Shoyembo, he identified officials who were corrupt, who were doing the wrong things. Did they ask him who they were? Did they apprehend these persons? Were there any investigations conducted? Were there any indictments? Were there any prosecutions? Were there any imprisonments? Any convictions? No, none of these things happened. None of these things happened. We don't have a few corrupt officials at the passport office. There are a lot of them. We don't have a few bad eggs in the Nigeria police force. Oh, those ones is once again, it's like the entire poultry has a problem. It's not a few. We have fundamental issues from the foundation, from the inception of these agencies. There are fundamental problems. There are fundamental dysfunctions with the system. And if it's going to work, denying its existence or coloring it with a few bad eggs or a few corrupt officials is not going to help. We need to tell ourselves the truth. These institutions of government are extremely dysfunctional. Extremely dysfunctional. Dysfunctional to the extent that they kill innocent people in some cases. We need to admit to ourselves that they are dysfunctional. We need to do something urgently about them, to reform them and ensure that they function the way that they are designed to function. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Hope you were on board. Let's get your take on mine. Lines open. Call 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003 or 0007. We are live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info PH. We're also on Twitter and YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, you're welcome. It's Hard Facts. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
AB from House on the Rock. Are you getting me?
Go ahead.
Oh, yes. Thank you for your encouragement words. It's truth. It's true. They are corrupt. Government, police, all of them, they are corrupt. I've told you sometimes I travel go Cameroon. They say I should go back to that lawless country. And they say the country big for nothing. And I entered this back to this country. It's truth. It's lawless country. That's why they call Nigeria. Every institution where government is that police, that you they talk about passport. It's truth. Police, all the agents, them, all of them, they are corrupt. You want to go do passport, they will send me to bring extra 20,000 before you get it now. It doesn't make any sense. But when you go to Cameroon now, we need pay all your fees for you. They will give you a passport. Pay your due with them. Go your way.
All right. Oh, he's gone anyways. 90.3, hello, you're welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, go on.
The challenge with most, in fact, all the institutions of this country is huge. You know, it's very institutions, all institutions actually, all public institutions. It's huge. And the data to actually let the whole world know how bad it is not easily available to common citizens like me or even you. That is why you have to only allege. And it doesn't allege that even as we are planning to hand over to new federal state of administration at federal level, politicians are always screaming to see how these institutions will be shared. Somebody takes care of the police, somebody takes care of the army, somebody takes care of the navy. Everything is shared amongst them. So when your own gets to you, you determine who has it, what you get from it, and all the budgetary allocation that will come from. So it's all for grab. So when you say the problems are foundational, it is not just for the rank and file, but it's actually from those who head these institutions, how they come to head it. You see the challenges with INEC and all of that. See all it. Just
I apologize. I do have to end this now. I've got a commercial break coming up right now. I'll return shortly, though. Do please stick around.
For Harcourt Afri Health Conferences and Exhibitions, Healthcare.
Taking your responses now. Call 0817 923 0002 or 0003 or facebook.com/Nigerian for PH. Also via Twitter at Nigerian for PH. Via Facebook, Gospel Nawachi Nemire goes, good afternoon. The minister should stop apportioning blame and do the needful by nipping the corruption that's happening under his watch in the bud. James sent this message in that they actually call it express, and you have to pay extra money. They're all corrupt. What's your take on this? Got just a few minutes ago, before 4 p.m., and I do have to wrap this up. Also, from Facebook, Endurance Indiana Bongos. My joy is that he didn't address them as ghost workers, but few corrupt officials. That means the minister can identify them. Let him fish out the few corrupt officials quickly. That's a problem. That's a major problem. So we know that there are a few corrupt officials. We know the process is not working because of these so-called few corrupt officials. What are we doing about them? What are we doing to improve the system to ensure that these quote-unquote few corrupt officials are not able to thrive? And if you look around, it's just everywhere, really, with agencies, departments, and like I said earlier on, the problem is fundamental. It's foundational. Something is just not right with institutions of state. And you name it. Which one is functioning properly as should function? Which of them? And denying that they do not function properly, or that there's something fundamentally or foundationally wrong with them, to make the problems go away. No, it's not. As a matter of fact, if it's not addressed, it's only going to worsen it. It's only going to make it worse. And we can't afford that. Nigerians really can't afford for things to get any worse than they are at the moment, even though there are very trying times ahead awaiting Nigerians. But conscious efforts must be made. And first up, we have to admit that something is fundamentally wrong with our institutions, with the passport office, with immigration, customs, with the police, with the security agencies. We have to accept something is fundamentally wrong with them, and then we have to find out the solutions and proactively work on those solutions, give effect to them to ensure that they actually work. Anyways, that's a wrap for this segment. Got the business news coming up shortly, top of the hour at 4 p.m. After that, Canvas, the Niger Delta Roundtable is up afterwards. Do please stay with us.